Well, hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're taking a look at the WAK Spino from the mod of, well, the very same name. And this god tier spoon was made by BigAL. I just gotta say, this thing looks amazing. BigAL already introduced so many awesome critters to the Ark Workshop, with the model looking very close to the Jurassic Park 3 Spino, and well, who doesn't love that one? We all recall those edgy tribute videos of it back in the day? No, just me? Anyway, I was actually picked as a tester for this mod and to make a video on it as well. Of course, today we'll talk about pretty much everything you need to know about this guy, but before we do that, and I can't believe that I can say that, today's video is sponsored. Welcome to WAK. They have 2 cluster PvP who wipe every month with some incredible news like some new weapon, leaderboard, cave mod, and of course the WAK Spinosaurus coming soon. If you are a little bit more chill, you can also join the PvE cluster. It's a no wipe, so you will not lose everything, and they also have some unique features like world bosses, rare dino, and much more. Join the Discord in the description if you're interested. But now, let's get back to the video. You can find these massive, and I mean massive, Spinos in only one spawn, and that being Monster Island on the island map. But it was confirmed that they might end up spawning in other biomes as well. However, that did get me thinking, since the Monster Island on the map The Island uses a spawn entry, which is also used on the Ragnarok volcano, and I believe the Center volcano map, maybe you can find them there as well. But I haven't seen one there yet. Well, anyway, the WAK Spino is basically a gigger of a Spino, so that means they are very rare. If you want to find a good level 1 of these, you gotta have time, which also brings me to the next point of this video, their taming process, which is very similar to Rasclark's favorite creature, the Amagasaurus.
Bro. Oh my god. Where are you going?
So that means you have to go around and kill stuff with it. However, you do need to be level 96 in order to start the taming, as well as the newly added item Fish Soup, which requires 10 cooked fish prime meat, 50 mejoberries, 10 savaroots, 10 long grass, 10 narcotics, and some water. Consume it and this will make the Spino ignore you for 10 minutes. Next, walk up to it and press E to initiate the taming process. Like the spiky sauropod, this guy will follow you around and won't attack you unless you get too close. And by that I mean literally standing underneath it. Next up, let's talk about weapons. You can use any sort of ranged weapons really. My personal top 2 contenders would be the pump action shotgun and sniper rifle. With the shotgun doing a fantastic job at gaining taming process, the sniper on the other hand does have more aim accuracy and lowers the chance of you accidentally hitting your Spino, which if you end up doing that, you can now start this thing all over again. It is worth mentioning that the higher your weapon damage is, the more taming you get per shot. I did test this out on a level 150 Spino with primitive weapons on 1x rates, which doesn't do that much on something like even a Rex. And Rexes are probably the best you can go after, because the smaller stuff usually dies in 1 or 2 bites anyway. Also, unlike the Amaga, you do not have to feed it kibble or veggie cakes, etc. to heal it back up. In fact, the taming effectiveness won't go down when they take damage from wild dinos. So for this taming, I would highly recommend you to be prepared. Bring enough armor, ammo, fish soup, and all these consumable items that can help you as well, like med brews, energy brews, shadow steak, etc. And with enough patience and time, you can tame your very own WAK spoon. Once tamed, the saddle can be unlocked at level 96 and needs 350 fiber, 60 metal ingots, 450 hide, and 20 obsidian. And this one just looks sick with these deer antler-like structures around it. You just gotta love it. They have a generic left click bite attack. Right click is a directional heavy attack, looking forward for a double claw swipe, which inflicts the open wound debuff. This debuff can stack up to 20 times, and once maxed, the target will take 50% more damage, as well as reducing saddle armor. Looking left or right to perform a devastating stomp attack, which will apply the trike stun debuff. And looking behind you for a tail whip, which also slows targets as well. C for a cosmetic roar. Holding left control for a charged rip and tear attack. This attack will grant you the Blood Frenzy buff, which increases your run and swim speed by 25%, as well as granting immunity to stunts. And it also turns in place. In water, they are also true monsters. They have no oxygen stat and recover stamina when not moving. Like the Deinosuchus, they have a RAV mode, which means it won't go down and stay at the surface if you ever want to take some friends with you on a lovely little ride. But you can descend by pressing C. However, they cannot use any attack besides their bite, sadly. Also, before anyone asks me, no, they can't enter boss arenas, they are too big for that. However, something like Dino Depot will let you do this anyway. But they are fully breedable and mutatable, so if you want to, you could use a fully mutated army of these things against the Titans, or later down the line of maps against the overworld bosses on Fjordur, and even the brutes on Genesis 1. In terms of stats, they have the Giga, or rather Carcharodonto syndrome, meaning their wild health gets nerfed. And like the shark-toothed boy, their base damage is impressive, but you really gotta use that right click in order to deal some real damage. Overall, I think this monster is a fantastic addition to your arc. Once again, it looks like the JP3 Spino, and come on, that thing was just cool as hell. For my final opinion, I do wish they would spawn on other maps, since something like this doesn't really have that much of a use on the island if you can't use it in boss fights, as the generic single player I am. Like, imagine this thing in the blue or even the red zone on Aberration. Maybe rarely in the Oasis biomes on Scorched Earth, and the Sang Forest on Extinction would be perfect for these giants to roam around. But with all that, it still is an amazing creature done by some talented people. And since this is the end of the video, I would like to know, what are your thoughts on this creature? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, it really does help out. My name is Arc Rector, I wish you an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.